Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. My name is Carlos. I'm the Mad New Yorker, and I'm just going to give a quick review here on today's podcast show on what the Forkball. Unfortunately, we were unable to get some guests here on the show today because a lot of them aren't actually at the game or enjoying the game. Um, some of my partners that were on the show before are actually going to be at the watch party today. Unfortunately, I cannot make it, but I still here. I'm still here in New York. We're in Queens, and everybody, there's excitement in the air. A lot of people are ready for the game today. A lot of people are still celebrating the game from yesterday. And with that, we'll start talking about what's happened here in New York City baseball. And we begin with the New York Yankees. 2009. 2009 was the last time that the Yankees were in the World Series. And now, for the first time, they'll be back at it, and they're sitting home pretty, watching and waiting to see what goes on with the Dodgers and the Mets. That'll be coming up in a few minutes here, hour and a half, here East Coast time, and they're gonna find out who's gonna be going to who they're gonna be playing. For them, doesn't matter what two teams come up. They both are going to have been giving them some kind of problems, and I'm myself as a New Yorker who enjoy both teams, watching both teams, rooting for both teams. I'm excited. I would love to see a Subway Series, but that's all up to what these teams, what the Mets do today with the Dodgers. So, big market, big time players, big time ownership. Went out and beginning the season to get Soto, and he's come up big for them. That was a big deal for the Yankees to get a player like Soto. And last night was the proof was in the pudding, as he was able to blast off a hit, legendary type of um, situation there for him. So only question is now: is this going to be a situation where the Yankees are going to be able to stay with him, keep him, after it's all said and done, or was he just a hired gun? Whatever the case is, almost everybody in New York City, New York State, anybody who's a Yankees fan is just excited to be back in the thick of things, back to the World Series. Um, I'm excited. I want to see what keep if the Yankees can keep it on. I'm already eager to see what kind of lineup the manager's going to put out there. What is Boone going to do? Everybody's really excited on the Yankees as they celebrate. It's just a big deal. You know, they have been going through a lot in the last two seasons as far as is there enough talent? Was there enough depth? Was there enough pitching um, on this team? And sometimes it's not about. And I'm actually gonna probably repeat this too as well for the other team in New York. But it's not just about who you have on your team, and it's not what you're paying them. It's also very indicative of what they're going to do on the field. They have to perform on the field, and you can't put a dollar sign on that if you're trying to figure out, you know, what players are going to come out and do. And for those of you who like analytics, these kind of numbers they kind of pop up. People talk about them, but for those of you who don't care for analytics, this was something that you know you hope to see, you want to see from your ball players, and you want consistency. Analytics wise, you're out there and you're managing either side, and you're trying to get the players to match up, the hitters to match up with the pitching, and you're trying to get everything done on as much as a formula that you can that gets you the higher percentage of winning. But the truth be told, the Yankees were not in this game until after the fourth inning. and there was an accident there from a shortstop on trying to get some outs late in the game, and so every little part of the game, you have to go out there and perform, and you have to stay away from the mistakes, and then on the opposite side, you see mistakes happen, you have to outperform your competitor, and you got to go out there and make plays. The Yankees had the right person at the right time, and Juan Soto, he gets paid to do that, to do what he did, and he's a playmaker. He is a big deal, and he's still young. He's not, it's not even at his peak yet. So this is great for all the Yankee fans, all the New Yorkers who like baseball. They were very stressful. By all means, it was very intense, and it was a good game. If you like baseball, if you like to, if you're just a fan of baseball, it was a good game to catch. And Cleveland, I will say I didn't think of Cleveland as a team that was going to be able to compete with the Yankees, but they did. They did a good job, and they kept it interesting. And hats off to them for being a good competitive team. And like a lot of teams, sometimes it's just a few players short. For Cleveland, I think maybe it's a factor, the combination of age, maturity. They still have a couple young players there. They need a little bit more depth, and they got close. They got very close. The Yankees, they won, but we cannot. Well, we can't just turn a blind eye and say that they're going to be able to rip through the next whatever team shows up for the next round in the World Series. So, it's going to be a fun matchup, whoever they play in the World Series. Personally, again, like I mentioned before, either team is gonna give them a battle. Having a Subway Series would be nice here in the Northeast. You're looking at fans from Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, maybe Pennsylvania if you're a Phillies fan and you want to see the Mets get beat. Those are the fan bases that would love to see a repeat of a Subway Series from years back, from 2001. I'm not sure if I just would like to continue to watch good baseball and a good series. I'll be content with anything that happens, to be honest. But what I want to happen, it would be nice to see a Subway Series here in New York again. But we'll see what happens. Saying that, and we'll move forward and talk a little bit about what the Yankees are going to do on the roster they had. I was looking through it and the pitching staff, and I'm not sure Boone can do much more than, you play with what you got. For sure that they can make some changes in a bullpen next season. But for right now, you play who you got. You could turn around and they have had a few bullpen type of games. Nothing like the Dodgers, I don't think. I think they got a little bit more out of some of their starters and some of the mid relief. But bullpen game, if you want to call it bullpen game, I think it's gonna be necessary for them, at least maybe 1 or 2 games. It depends on who they're playing again. But I'm not too keen on some of those pitchers that they have, and they can't. It's hard. It's getting colder now in New York, so
If and it was cold in Cleveland, and the ball is a little harder. It's harder to do what you want with it as a pitcher. And so we're gonna see how it'll be different. If they play the Dodgers, they'll have a better opportunity with the pitchers, just with the difference in climate. To be honest with you, um, and and if they play the Mets here in New York, it's going to be cold for both of the teams. They're um, so be interesting matchups to get out of either one. Um, I mentioned before, wasn't a fan of Cortez being a starter. He ended up being they ended up putting him in the bullpen. Also, they had issues when they had put Stroh in and out of the lineup as a starter. So, but there's a lot of between those two players. There's a lot of opportunity for them to do things for their team if needed. And if a pitcher can't go long, as like Rodon, or if something happens also uh, with some of their other starters. So we'll see. Very I'm very happy that in New York there's at least one team from New York going to be in the World Series as of right now. So, um, you know, kudos to them. Um, Good for the ownership, management team, the coaching staff. They went through a lot this year. A lot of fans, media. Um, I myself, I didn't. I saw them as I had the New York Yankees and the Mets coming out of third place for their respective divisions, and the Yankees did not. They did better, and the Mets actually did come through as a third from their division. So, in that retrospect, they outdid what I thought they would be able to do, and which is good. You know, it's always again New York baseball, um, a city like this having two teams, two different types of energies. It's it's fun, and if you've not been around it before, or you're in it now, you already know, and it can only get wilder. So let's see, look through some of this information I have, see if I miss anything as far as what the Yankees did. You know, again, they did a good job with Cleveland, and they took them to extra innings. I mean, it's not much more you can ask for your pitching staff. So, um, and if it does become a game with or a series with the Dodgers, I mean, they haven't played each other since 1981, which is something that some fans in the West Coast are wanting to see, and can rest assure you that people in New York, they're ready for another Subway Series rather than just the one that they get during the season. So moving back to Queens here, and leave it for to Alonso to start the hittings uh, that was taking place the last game. Um, I feel like he lit a spark, and the team just kind of got refocused, and that was good. Good for them. Um, the Dodgers, the pitcher just didn't have it in him to do another good or great game that he pitched the first game. So it's tough to see that pitcher go through that, and now that they're in Los Angeles, they have an opportunity to get a win at home, but I'm not sure if that's going to be something that's going to be an easy task for them. Uh, the Mets right now getting ready to play, and they're going to be starting Mania, and Mania has been one of the best pitchers in the Major League Baseball for like since middle of since the end of July, beginning of August, and you know he's got good stuff, and he's been playing well, and the ball's in his hands, and that's a good thing for the Mets because he's also been able to control and take Otani out of the game. So that's an opportunity for the Mets today to get a win. If you're not, I don't know, like if you're not careful, and you don't take this opportunity as a Mets players to try to get hits off of these guys who are pitching a bullpen game. This is kind of what, if you're a hitter, what you want. And it's an opportunity that for the Mets to just take control of the series if they want to. But again, this isn't going to be an easy task. Other than Otani not doing well versus Mania, there's also a situation where Freeman, it looks like he's not going to be able to play today due to his ankle issue. We'll see what happens with the rest of the team, how they react. The thing about Frazier not being in is it puts a lot more pressure on the guys that have to step up, like Mookie Betts and Shohei. But now you also have the young players that they have in Pajas to try to do what he's done the last few days and then get home runs and get big hits. And that's not an easy task for a young player like him. He's the first player to hit 2 home runs in a playoff game, and that's not an easy task. But he was able to do that. But the inconsistency of the Dodgers lineup, I'm not sure if Pajas, as good as he is a player on the field and hitting wise, I'm not sure if he can keep doing that. But we'll see what happens with that. Mookie Betts should try to pick it up a little bit, as he's been struggling a little bit this playoff season, a little bit with the Padres and also some with the Mets. He needs to get going. Will Smith, the catcher, has had a few games where he's done some damage, but he's not consistent as well. So I'm not sure if the Dodgers will be able to pull off a win today because of a lot of the things that are not going their way. And, we'll see. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be exciting to see the Mets come back, and they're going to be warmer. They're going to be in a place where the ball's going to fly. So, and a pitcher like Manaea will be able to be comfortable. He knows California. I mean, he's played on the A's in the past, and he's pitched well out there. So, that's something that he's already kind of like, you don't have to worry about him. So I like to see some of the Mets pick it up myself as well. Like, there are a few players on the roster that haven't been doing well. Um, and Iglesias has been struggling to hit to get that kind of energy out of him. But he has been doing well on the field, so you you know can't get too upset about that. Maybe get a few more hits out of McNeil today. Not sure if Nimmo's going to play either, so there's a few things there that they can do. The bullpen for the Mets is key. If they're in a lead, they have to be able to keep that lead ahead and move forward. And I think that's one of the things where the Mets are going to have an issue. So, you know, this game is a toss up. And I just hope the Mets go out there and use their energy, use their playmaking abilities on defense to try to keep this game close so they can go up and tie the series, push to the next game. So I like this game to probably be a little different in a sense where we're going to see the teams probably get more hits on both sides. This might be one of those games that end up being 7-6 or 6-5 or something like that. So you know what? It's not. I don't want to see that, but if it happens, it's just baseball, right? They gotta go out there, play, get their hits, get their runs. We haven't seen we've always seen one team dominate another team. So we'll see if this will become an actual competition, a competitive game, or is this just going to be one team just starts hitting and takes over the game? And to be honest with you, I don't know if that favors the Mets, because the last time that they were behind, they were unable to catch up. And the reality is, and they keep saying, the announcers, the media, a lot of people who know baseball players who talk amongst each other, baseball people, and the reality is, and coaches and managers, you can't keep being able to come up from behind, even if your team, like the Mets, have been doing that for the last 8 weeks plus, because they've come into the playoff as the best baseball team in the National League, at a third place, because they come back from that terrible schedule that they didn't do well in the beginning of the season. So the thing for them, the continuity that they have with their team, the fact that they have 3 aces, almost 4 aces, depending on how you see it, the fact that they don't quit, it's great. They have good energy, but use the energy in the beginning of the game and try to stay along with it, because I know it's fun to watch. I know it's very exciting. And you see these players get, into the game because they're coming back. But I feel like that kind of game being played that way benefits the Dodgers more than it'll benefit the actual Mets, because as you've seen in the last few games, when they get ahead, they get 3 to 4 runs and they start getting hot. It gets uglier quick. And so, if you're the Mets, if you're a fan of the Mets, you want them to get going. The earlier, the better. And if they fall behind 2 or 3, I'd say minimum 3, no more than 5, they will always feel like they have an opportunity to come back. And that's how they talk about it. That's how they feel, like they're never out of the game, but they can't start in Los Angeles being under, not scoring enough, and it's not going to help them at all.
So I hope to do a preview of the World Series when it begins, whatever team makes it to face the Yankees. I was feeling a little under the weather. I just almost got my voice fully back, almost. I'm hoping to get that back, be 100%. I've gotten some comments from people on different shows that I'm on. I'm on the show with Robert Butler. If you guys haven't catched it yet, it's called Sports Scope. Robert Butler on YouTube. He has a lot of different guests, hosts, Monday through Friday. I'm usually his guest host and commentating with him on Fridays. Sometimes on Thursdays, depending on the situation. We make a lot of different predictions, make a lot of different calls. We talk about all kinds of sports. If you guys get an opportunity, catch that. That's my boy Robert Butler on Sports Scope, and I'm the Man New Yorker. I'm on there on Fridays. I'm hoping to come out with a couple other podcasts soon. Trying to get and line up guests together, and just to share the energy of sports. So if you guys have any comments, you have anything else to relay, just let me know. And get excited about this game tonight and baseball in New York City. Even if anything happens, the Yankees are still in, and we're gonna see what happens for the rest of the baseball season. Those of you who are fans of other teams and are out of contention, get ready for the free agency. That's going to be crazy, and maybe also talk about that for the NL East teams and the AL East teams coming up as well in the next few days when we talk about the World Series and as that goes. So I appreciate everybody who's tuned in. I hope everybody, again, enjoys their evening. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Mets. Let's go New York City baseball. It's good to be back on the top again. It's good to have baseball teams be competitive. It's been some time coming, and but if you get a chance to watch or even listen to it on the radio or streamed or however you want to see it, man, get opportunity and support your teams. And if you're not a fan of New York City baseball, and you root against them in the contention, but just enjoy it. Whatever you do, enjoy the game of baseball. Share this with your friends. Like if you like the podcast, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Have a good night and enjoy your games.